What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business and Biceps. And you better wake your ass up! On today's show, we're going to freestyle about the intricacies of the workplace.
Ooh.
You like that, Mo? Huh, Mo? Give me some. Yeah. See, I told y'all motherfuckers I had it. Oh, sorry, Theo. All right, so.
All right. Yeah, that's the first of many.
Yeah, all right, Mo. It's brought to you by Robinhood.
Yes, Robinhood. It is the Get Your Future Together program.
Secure your future,
Okay,
Mo.
okay,
You renamed it.
Well, I'm sorry. It's the Secure Your Future program.
Yes, it is.
Yes, everybody knows. I always tell them, even if you're a novice investor and you don't want any commissions, go to Robinhood, download the Minty Green app, as my man John should say, and that is his statement.
That is.
As you download the app.
Trademarked it.
Trademarked. As you download the app, you can pick a safe and American company that you think will be around for a long time, and you can take a nominal amount of money and basically put it up. Or you can go to biceps.robinhood.com and get you a free stock such as Apple, Ford, or Sprint, and you can't find this anywhere else.
No, you can't.
And you have to build your future. If you come to Business of Biceps, we always talk about building your future, and thanks to Robinhood, they provided you an avenue to do so.
Nice job, Mo.
And there's no fees.
No trading fees.
Yes, no trading fees.
That's big bucks, Mo.
Big bucks to save, put in your pocket, and invest back into the
Get
market.
busy. Get
Hey,
busy.
it's also brought to you by Halo Neuroscience. We had an amazing interview with the founder, Dan Chow.
Hey, listen, that guy is on another level.
Literally.
If I had 1/5 of his brain, I would I'd be doing some great things. But no, in all seriousness, I guess it feels good as a consumer to know that there's someone like Dan Chow behind a product like Halo Sport, because what Halo Sport does is it stimulates the motor cortex, which is responsible in your brain for movement.
Yep.
And when you put on the product, which is like a pair of headphones, and you're doing something repetitious, and this is for normal people. This isn't just for elite athletes. When you're doing something repetitious like a baseball swing, a golf swing, hitting a heavy bag, or powerlifting or anything, it makes your body and your mind more familiar with that movement. So you're going to learn it quicker. And to have a guy as smart as he is
smart, dude.
and is credentialized makes me feel great about the product. I believe in the product. I've used the product, as have you.
Yep.
And the stuff's real, man.
Yeah, make sure you guys go to gethalosport.com/biceps. They're going to give you guys $100 off on the product. It is pretty amazing. And we want to welcome BRD.
BRD.
Listen, crypto is crazy. Mad people have it. You need a wallet to secure your Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any of the cryptocurrencies that you take part in. We want to make sure you guys go to BRD in the Apple or Google Play Store. John.
Guys, okay, so here's the thing. We all know cryptocurrency is this trending topic that very few people understand. Here's what I'll tell you about it. I had my first experience with purchasing it in 2013. When you purchase cryptocurrency, for those of you who either do or are going to, the process is you purchase it from an exchange.
Yep.
Okay? And once you purchase it from that exchange, you have to take it and you have to put it in a wallet for security. So it's mandatory to have what they call a crypto wallet. And it's very, 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 from a security standpoint, okay, you got to understand cryptocurrency is like a long text message, okay? So anybody with any kind of hacking skills or whatever can get into your stuff. That's why you must secure it with a crypto wallet.
Yep.
And BRD is bar none. That's why we brought them on as a partner, and that's why we want you guys to download their app. They are bar none the safest, most secure, most highly rated wallet in the crypto space. So here's how it goes. If you own crypto, move it into the BRD wallet.
Absolutely.
If you're buying crypto, download the BRD app. get the wallet so it's ready to be transferred into it. And Corey, I know you know where to direct them
Yeah,
to do
absolutely. And just to go ahead and hit on that other point, is the oldest and most trusted, most easy to use mobile wallet around, John. Like you
I
said.
use it. I use it, and that's a fact.
And that is at brd.com, or just go to the Apple or Google Play App Store at BRD. We appreciate you guys, and we're excited to have you on the show. I think it's time for Bosco's World.
What you got, Mo?
Well, he has a new jacket on today.
It's old as hell.
That's old as
Thank
shit.
you, Mo. I appreciate
It's
it.
new to me.
He said, hey, so you know what? Every time you go to introduce him, he's like, you're always hating on me during, like you say 6'2". I'm
Yeah,
like,
he
this
says
motherfucker's
6'2". Corey's like, he's only 6 foot. Mo, today I'm 6'5".
6'5".
6'5".
All the way. So no, let's say it right. Donnie Fosco hailing from the Windy City, sitting on new furniture.
Yeah.
The whole new set, for those who will see this online and see the pictures, admire the new furniture that we have, the decor, right?
Decor, I like
There
that.
we go. 6'5",
That's high end right there.
with the traditional hat and glasses, and the full beard, with the new look, Mr. Donnie Fosco.
John Fox does not take responsibility, nor can he be held liable for anything he says, does, or gestures. He is mentally healthy most of the time. If you are offended by these statements, know that it is not John's intention, but he doesn't really care. This being said, listen at your own risk and shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
A whole lot of newness going on, right?
A lot of newness. Is
New
that a
jack-
word? I don't know.
So
but
how you gonna
it
sit
is
in this?
here.
How you gonna sit in this newness, John?
I don't know.
You're
I'm getting
up, you're back,
comfortable.
yeah.
I'm moving. I'm shaking and baking, baby. All right. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that as always, and you continually up your game, which puts pressure on me to up my game, and I can only try, Mo. I can only try. So I was thinking about a very recent experience, and then I said, how can I take this recent experience and share it with our listeners so they can potentially maybe learn something from it? And the recent experience that I had that I'd like to share with people is the experience of firing somebody that I like. And firing somebody that you like personally is something that everyone has to go through if they are on a path to the top. Because liking people is not a reason to keep them as part of an organization or as part of a project, right? Their work and their output is the reason to keep them part of your organization or part of your project. And if they are not as motivated as you, if they do not see things the same way you do, if they do not adapt to changing environments in the way that the team does or the leader does, you have to do something that feels inhumane, but the quicker you release that feeling of inhumanity and understand that this isn't a friendship situation, this is a financial endeavor, which business is, you understand that you must depersonalize the situation and handle it. And in this particular situation, it was our producer for this show. And like I said, I liked him, but what amazed me, and me and Corey talked about this, is if you're a producer for this show and you hear the things we talk about, right? We talk about pushing your life forward, achieving goals, and getting better at your craft. And we try our best to lay it out every week and give you tips and pointers on how at least we experienced it and how we did it. And I think when someone is intaking that information, hearing that information constantly, and behind the scenes getting directives that need to improve the product, and they're just kind of ho-humming along with a group of guys that do not ho-hum along, we're like freight trains, because we know from experience that's how you get to the destination you want to get to. You have to make a harsh move. So my point to everybody is, when you're dealing in this situation, which is guaranteed if you're moving up in the world or building business or in a corporate environment where you manage people, you have to, once you depersonalize it, you have to handle it in a swift manner, right? There is not a need for a conversation as to why. Once a decision has been made by the administrators, by the leaders, that you got to go, there's not a debate to be had, right? There's not a conversation of, oh, maybe no, it's done. So in handling this situation, I realized, because I've had to fire a lot of people, that it took 30 seconds. It was not disrespectful, and it was efficient. Sure. And we moved on. So I want all you guys to just stop being so personal with something that is so unpersonal, and that's business. And here's what's great about handling something in that manner. Number one, you don't disrespect someone. You say, we're moving on. Thank you for your time here, but we're going a different direction. Once you do that, you have the ability to then go and replace them with someone who does fit the mold that you thought that person was going to fit. So we have the ability now to give a young man like Jeremy a shot to fill that mold, and he knows exactly what's expected, and he will meet the same fate as our other producer if he does not deliver. So now we have this great opportunity to up our game because we depersonalized everything and we handled our business, right? So now we expect a lot from you. We expect a lot from Butt Life, and if we don't get it, he's gone just like the other one. But we believe we're going to get it, and we're going to give him all the tools to get it. So when you're in the situation where you have to handle your business, guys, I just want you to think like this. This person is clearly on my mind in connection with firing them or releasing them because they're not delivering. If I can actually execute on that, get that done in a timely manner, I can get somebody in who wants to execute, who's excited about the job, who doesn't just show up at the job because they have to show up at the job to get a paycheck. They want to be there, and they want to deliver, and they want to make the product or the service better just like we do. That's an exciting thing to me, to know that someone's waiting in the wing, wanting to upgrade the product just like we fucking do. That's somebody who's taking ownership in something. So when you are replacing someone, just know that there are other people out there who would love to have that opportunity. And maybe that thought can push you over the edge and take you to a place where you can make a decision, because I know it's hard for a lot of people.
Well, I can just say, like, in the last probably 3 years, I've had to fire about 6 people that I liked, that I lifted with, and it's not easy. And the fact of the matter is, it's so hard because of that personal line, and I've made it less personal as I've gotten older and by being around John, and been swifter with it, I think, most recently. And yeah, have taken most of that personal feelings out of it. It just kind of is what it is. And what's interesting is that you're not limiting yourself, you're limiting that person, you're limiting the person that can come in and make the product better. I mean, you're just settling.
You're limiting the organization.
You're just settling. Right, Mo? I'm sure you've had people in your organization, right?
My thoughts are a little bit different, but I still roll with the same philosophy from prison. If you allow it, you deserve it. So it's really, and I think John said, I just want to emphasize this point. If I've given you a clear understanding of the standard of what's expected, and I've given you the resources to do so, and I've clearly communicated to you, what is expected. If you don't do it, at that point, it's not personal. We take things out of the personal space and we put them into an agreement space. Yeah. And I don't think people understand that a job is an agreement. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You interview
You're
me. You're agreeing
to do these things for this money.
Yes, and if you don't hold up to your end of the agreement, I have to let you go. But I think people, and we should really talk about that even more. John says it, and he said it before, like having a personal relationship is a luxury at a job. Yep. And I think people lead with that, and that the friend card or the buddy card becomes the most important thing, even from some employers. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And for me, I just don't care, because I think because I've put so much time into stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
You're like, why is somebody going to get a free ride on me?
That's the ultimate line blur. That's what creates the fog. is the buddy card,
Yes.
because we are here for an economic agreement. You will listen. No one's walking through this fucking door if they're not getting paid X for X amount of time.
No.
That's why everyone's fucking here.
Yes.
That's how it works. It's not the friendship thing. But when you bring in the fucking friendship thing, whether you're the leader or you are the employee, there's a fucking fog, and that agreement just gets murky. It's like, oh, I had him over for dinner. His wife was so nice.
I think you're right. When you get into those personal conversations and we get personal lives into it, then I can slack off a little bit because Corey knows me. I can slack off a little bit because John knows me, and that's where it gets funny. But for me, it's when you clearly understand, like Jeremy, you clearly understand your job, you clearly understand the expectations, and you clearly understand the accountability. Bro, it's nothing else to say. I know I have to deliver. You know what I'm saying?
And to me, clearly understand that there's that, plus you need to give more on top of it if you want to bang this thing out the park. That's just it.
But that's the pursuit. But what you're talking about is the pursuit of wanting to be great at something.
Yeah.
To understand what you all are expecting from me. Okay, I got that shit in the bag. I'll do that in my sleep, and I'll go ahead and take this thing to another level.
Going the
back
extra
to
mile.
Going back to what you said the other day, now I'm irreplaceable because I have a set of skills or I'm performing in a capacity that another guy can't do.
Yeah.
From a leader's standpoint, I've heard this, and I think this is where things get fucked, is they say, oh, like I said, because I had him and his wife over for dinner and I might have to let him go, are they going to be able to pay their daughter's tuition for school? That ain't my deal.
Doesn't
As the
matter.
boss, that ain't my deal. He should have thought about that when he didn't do his fucking job. But too many leaders, if you guys are listening and you manage people, if you fucking think like that, that's fucking cancer in your brain. Get it the fuck out, because if he didn't or she didn't deliver, it's fucking on them that they can't pay their mortgage. It's not on you as the boss. Just because you stroke that check don't mean you're responsible for the fucking mortgage. Straight up. That's
Hey,
it.
No one cared if I was paying my mortgage.
No.
No, but in all seriousness, what
That's
people
the truth,
what
though.
people do care about is Corey Gregory time.
Yes. I'm glad you
I already
did
know that, John.
Oh, easy, dude. It's motivation time. Brought to you by the nicest, smiliest man you will ever meet. Get ready for Corey Gregory.
All right, thank you, John.
Okay.
That was one of my best. That was one of your best segues.
Oh, I'm really good at that.
All right. Yes, you are.
I know.
All right. So last night I was taking AG up to this guy who does baseball pitching type of stuff. Is like about a half hour away, and I always respect
Can
when
you
I'm.
tell the audience who AG is?
Oh, my son,
Okay.
Alex. He's
There you go.
13,
There you
and he's not playing other sports this year, so he's going to do a little baseball stuff like once a week. And so this guy came highly recommended as just a real good baseball instructor for pitching. So I went up to check him out, and I always respect when I meet somebody I don't know that you can tell they're in their passion. Like they can't hide it, right?
You can feel it.
Oh, no question, right? And so this is kind of, I'm trying to frame up the context so I can tell you where I'm getting at. And so I'm not deep in baseball, but I followed it my entire life and played it and worked with some baseball guys back in the day. I hadn't seen, out of 100%, I saw 9 out of the 10 things I'd never seen before. And it was just the way he did. He had tons of numbers based on torso speed. It was serious, right? I was really impressed. And that, from a training standpoint, interaction, that doesn't happen a lot for me. I got a pretty high standard. And so I said to him, I said, do you have another job, or is this what you do? He said, no. He goes, I think in 5 years I could probably do this full time. I said, well, I could tell he's been doing it for a long time already. And I said to him, I said, this has got to be what you think about constantly, because you're really good at this. Can't find a lick of content online. Can't find, and so I asked him, and this is kind of my point. I said, can you tell me one, and this is the first time I ever met the guy, so maybe it was a little too heavy, but whatever. I was intrigued because he was really good at his job, I think, and his craft. So can you tell me why I can't find a piece of content on you, and why you haven't pursued this as like the baseball guy, at least in this region, right? And he said, well, I was taught to be humble.
The fuck does that mean?
Hold on, John. I said, ooh. I said, no. We're talking about two different things here. Being humble, and if you're a master at your craft and you're teaching, I said, and this is what I said, and then I backed away because I could tell I was making him a little uncomfortable. I said, your craft, just like my craft and fitness, like because of the way I teach now in today's opportunity, people in India, in Ireland, and the same with the podcast, right? They can consume the content and you can benefit from it. So you're limiting yourself to this small town and somebody that has to drive a half hour because you think it's unhumble to teach what you're, I would say, really good at. It just, I don't know where it came from because I don't know the guy that well, but I guarantee that right there, that point is probably haunts way more people because they feel like if they put themselves out there, even if they're really good at it, that they're bragging. And so I don't understand this at all.
I do.
Yeah,
I don't
It has to
understand
be a confidence thing, right, John? Or somebody has told them.
There's a connection with a lot of people, and just the way I look at it is it's connected with how they were brought up or maybe where they were brought up.
Yeah.
The connection is between money and guilt, right?
That's what I felt when he said it.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
I'm trying to hear this because I don't know.
Yeah. So I used to walk into every major MMA gym in the country. And these coaches that would coach world champions who would make 7 figures in a fight, they'd be borderline broke. They barely could keep the lights on in the gym, and you're coaching the best in the world. And I would talk to them, and I would say, why don't you have a financial structure here? Oh, we just love training, guys. And, when you get into money, that just muddies the water. And I was always like, well, do you think your time's worth money? Because clearly you are an elite coach. That's why you're coaching John Jones.
Yeah.
That's why he's knocking people out and making millions of dollars. Now he is, right? He doesn't feel like money is polluting him fighting or the purity of his skill. So you are coaching him, and he would absolutely have a nervous breakdown if you were not in his corner. So why aren't you valuing your time? And they would all say the same thing. I never really looked at it that way. I just got into this because I love coaching. And I think I
respect that.
I respect it, but there may be two things at
Selling
play.
yourself short, though.
Right? It's like they grew up, probably in a place where, it was lower middle class or lower class. So the thought of making, here's where people fuck themselves. The thought of making $100,000 in a night because you just coached a guy who brought in $1 million sounds unfair to them.
Yeah.
But the guy would never make $1 million if you weren't in his corner. So everything in
Hold it. So run it sounds.
Mo's really having a hard time with this.
Yes, it sounds unfair to them because if you grow up in
it's unfair for me to make $100,000 in a night.
Yes, it's unfair to the athlete because I'm just coaching him, and yeah, I want him to do well. I want him to make this money, but $100,000 in a night. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. No, that's 10%, and you're in the business of coaching fighters.
Yeah.
These are the conversations I would always have with them, and they just couldn't grasp it. But they were like, part of them was like, that makes sense, but they couldn't have a conversation and look someone in the eye and say, I'm worth this. This is the arrangement, because there was guilt connected to it, because when they grew up, my assumption is his dad was bringing home $40,000 with his hands dirty and his hands bloody. So the thought of having 40 fighters and making fucking a couple million a year because you are the most elite or one of the most elite coaches just doesn't feel fair to them. So they're literally disqualifying themselves.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing.
I can identify with it. I obviously broke through it, but
Yeah.
I think it's like you put this ceiling from your situation, mostly from where you grow up, and so I did that for a very short period of time. It's almost like you don't feel like you're worth it for some reason to surpass everyone that was around you. And it was interesting because I was like, dude. And I backed off after that. I was like, he's like, maybe I was supposed to meet you. I said, I know you were supposed to meet me.
So did you see was the attraction that you seen yourself in him?
Or
did you see yourself in him, not from a baseball standpoint,
but
from somebody
it's
who
that
maybe,
old like game recognizing game, right? As a trainer, I can see when people can interact with people properly and when they just know their shit.
And I'm talking about from the business standpoint. Did you see where he was limiting himself? And did that start the conversation?
Because I see where mine went from where it started, and I see the amount of information that the man had, and I just recognize, like, dude, this thing is way bigger. But the concept in his brain, he is very similar to what John just experienced. But this is a thing that's more common than maybe people.
This is, I think, a great example of people just being born businessmen or entrepreneurs, and other people tying money. Money is tied to emotion for so many people. Yeah. Businessmen don't tie money to emotion. They tie it to time and worth. These guys aren't businessmen, and that's okay. But I think the point is, we're trying to help people like that understand that you are worth
yourself.
it. Your time is worth it. There's a reason people are coming to you, and it's not bad to get paid.
Not if you're good.
What you're worth.
Yeah, and so here, last thing I'll wrap it up is, I brought out a check because he did say confidently what the hour was worth.
Sure.
And I respected that. Brought out the check. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit him for $50 or whatever it was. And he was like, oh, no, don't pay me today, because if you can make it to this thing next Saturday, I'll just apply that. And I'm like, I almost said, dude, I was like, I was about to pay him for 2 times because I'm coming back next. It was like he tried everything in his power to not let me give him money.
Because it makes him feel uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable. So if you're listening, I don't think he is because he's not on the internet much, but if you're listening, anybody, and you are doing this to yourself, quit fucking sabotaging yourself. Hey, Maurice's like, I'm taking the fucking money.
Yeah, I don't know.
This
is the first time we talked, Corey, and in my head was like, the fuck is this shit?
Maybe in the streets they don't teach it like this, Bo. Get the fucking money.
Bro, if I'm spending my time with you, if I'm spending my time coaching you and I think my time is worth something and I can leverage it on the internet and monetize it off the internet, I'm going to do it because this is my skill and this is what I feel is worth, almost to the point where John was like, people put their own value on art. Like, I feel this is what I'm worth.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm selling my attitude, my mentality, my work ethic, and everything that I've gotten myself. I'm giving that to you. Same thing as a coach. If you're a coach and coach somebody, if you feel like what you're transferring to somebody allows them to go do what they can do on top of their natural talent, that has a value to it. Because if it didn't, that guy would go to somebody else. But
before we move, I want to ask you this question because I think it can apply directly to you. So you've been speaking at a high level for a long time. Was there any point in your speaking career early on or whenever where you kind of hesitated before you brought out the number you were worth?
No. I got to a point where I knew. So the first of all, when they were speaking, when I was getting speaking, I was taking whatever I was given because I knew I was saying like good stuff, but it wasn't as organized and as tight as people who I had seen on the internet who were delivering like legitimate speeches, right? And based upon me just fumbling over stuff, but the better I got and the more clear I knew I was making points and talking and emphasizing stuff, I started to raise the bar up, because I knew I was worth more money, right? Mm-hmm. Because I knew, like, if I can talk on these 3 or 4 things and I can own them, and if I have people in the audience ask me questions, I was, like, without question talking about my personal story, mental health, drugs, and alcohol, tying experience to it and tying applicable information they can apply to their daily lives and stuff like that. I said, shit, this is worth X. And I didn't care who else was charging what. So I never felt bad, and also for my time, because like I'm coming here, this is my time, sure. And I'm a fixture inside of you selling tickets and everything else. And so I don't feel bad about making money. I don't know if that's.
No, I was just wondering if early on you were like, oh, I want to ask for 5, but I'll just do 3.
No, partly because I never was doing it. It was Richard. I had somebody else asking for the money or establishing the money, and I didn't even.
Oh, you keep yourself out of it.
Yeah, so I didn't even know there was a market. Be honest with you, this may sound crazy. I didn't know people paid people thousands of dollars to speak.
Okay,
like
I got you.
Prior to that, I was like, motherfuckers pay you to speak. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was an honor, whatever. But
all right, time.
Pirate.
Maurice's program.
Do what you say you're going to do. I'll get your ass thrown off the fucking ship like a pirate.
It's some kind of program.
Focusing on the next man's program. You talking about let's go to the back door barbecue. That's not my program.
Program drop.
And then I get you with the horror program.
You want to be on the right program.
Got you. I could have probably talked about that stuff all day. Very good points and good furniture.
That's great furniture.
Hey, we got new chairs
Yes.
and Steel and Stone LLC on IG.
Yes.
Thank
has
you.
a beautiful table for us.
Thank
I know Mo wants one in his living room
It's
Nah,
fucking
this is-
sweet.
because my face is on it. Clearly.
It is.
go.
It's sweet.
Yeah, but one thing I want to talk about, a few things because I just got like so much to talk about. But one thing
You're so
I thought,
excited. I can see it, Mo.
yeah, but it's from fucking I'm loving life right now. Really loving life.
That's a beautiful
Bunch
thing.
of good shit going on, and I was talking to myself not about my personal problems, but things that I see within people and things that I had happen to me that I think can help a lot of young people coming up, and it's the art of handling meetings. And it kind of builds on yesterday about wasting time, right? So as I've grown and gone and been around, and everybody has an idea and they want to meet on it, they want to get together, they want to pull out the MacBook Pro or their iPad, and everybody wants to look cute, and eventually at some
Filters.
point they want to put a filter on it, and they want to
Music,
say
maybe some music.
me and John
I'm
have-
hashtagging no filter on my ad pics. Just
Man, I'm telling you, they want to meet and say big things coming. Me and John, and
Right.
y'all know what I'm
right.
talking about,
Big
right?
And they got
popping.
and they got fruit bats.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening that I've come to find out is that people are very unorganized at meetings, and they end up passing information back and forth to each other with no desired goal or action step to what they're going to next. And I've not recently, not like in the last week, within the last few weeks, I've been in meetings that I was a part of, and I was like, man, I just really wasted like 2 hours of my time,
Yeah, I hate
or
that
an
shit.
hour of my time, because everybody wanted to come together because it felt good, and everybody wanted to come together because they thought that we can kumbaya. But the guy who I was around, they didn't have like an action item to say, hey, let's take a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they reconvened from the meeting, and it was like, hey, let's meet next week. And in my head, I was
Fuck
like,
you, man.
Yes.
Get
I
some go to
can't-
meeting software. I'll
I
check in for
can't
5
do
minutes.
meetings about meetings.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
If you want that, go to Reebok.
Yeah, no shit. Reebok had the most meetings about meetings I ever fucking
Hey,
seen.
wear some of those wax shoes.
Come on, man.
so
Gun.
So like my point was, and I know there's a lot of young people coming up, right? And I know you have to go through the process of meeting, but this is just my suggestions, my advice. You all can add in there, right? But when you go to meetings, you have to go in with the desired goal of what you're trying to get accomplished. Not let's saying, hey, let's sit down. You have to know before you sit down, what is it that you're trying to accomplish, right? And if I have John and Corey in the room, what am I trying to accomplish with John? What do I need John to do? What can John do? And when can I give him a deadline on what needs to take place? Same thing with Corey, same thing with myself. And then once you reconvene, you can say, okay, John, next time we meet, can you have this done? Will this be done?
Yeah.
Corey, next time we meet, can you have this done? Will that be done? And so on and so forth with myself. And I promise you, like, there's a bunch of people who have ideas, but you're on the hamster wheel because you just don't know how to meet or to push the meeting forward in order to say, okay, we've accomplished these 2 things, on to the next 2 things. And that's just my personal advice for people that I've been around.
So this is the don't just have meetings to look cute on Instagram
Hey,
program.
Yes. Yes.
I got a
I
blueprint.
named that one.
I got
Yes.
a blueprint for some people.
Go ahead.
Okay.
How about we don't really meet with people, John?
So let me tell you a couple things that come before meetings. First, you have text messages where you throw back and forth ideas, okay? Then you have emails where
Yes.
maybe you can add an attachment,
Yes.
right? Look at this, right? Here's a piece of property. Here's an idea.
Start to flesh it out.
And then from there, shit gets serious. Let's get on the phone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my God, there's phone calls. Then if you need to show someone something, I'm pretty sure you could FaceTime or do something like that. A meeting is where you go to get shit done.
Yes.
It's after the text, after the email, after the phone call. It's like, all right, all sides got it. Okay, let's meet and let's sign what has to be signed and let's go forward so we can execute. But motherfuckers who just have meetings because that's what they think professional people do, businessmen and businesswomen have meetings. I'm going to put on my tie today and my fucking new Brooks Brothers shirt and fucking have a meeting. You're a fucking dork, dude. Fucking text somebody. text somebody, fucking don't waste their time. Call
Yes.
them, fucking email them. If you're going to bring me in a goddamn room, let's get something done. Let's execute, dude. Save your Brooks Brothers and your fucking filthy shoes that need to be fucking shined. Keep them at home.
But
you know?
John, I was going to get a Frappuccino anyway.
I ordered a Frappuccino. Where's my fucking Frappuccino?
Yeah.
So chances are, if somebody's telling you,
Soy chai latte.
hey, as long as I got my MacBook and I get a Starbucks background, people think that they're in business. And I'm just telling you.
But Mo, I graduated from Duke.
Yeah, it's not the move, man. I promise you.
Go to Skillshare.
Go to
yes.
fucking Skillshare.
I mean it
Make me an app.
sincerely from the bottom of my heart. You have to go with the desired goal, and you have to have action items that you hold people accountable to, and you have to get stuff done. And one of the worst things that can happen, like when you, and this is not to be critical of anybody, when you don't have a lot going on, you don't care about your time. But when you have other people who you're trying to do business with or trying to pull into your agreement, somebody who has shit going on and they know that the value of time is very important, and you pull them in and waste their time, there is nothing more aggravating than not getting straight to the points and getting shit done with people you're trying to do business
I
with.
just don't do it.
The legendary Big Meech has said it the best, and I promise you that.
Big Meech.
Yes, listen to me. You can play this drop.
I think I'm Big Meech.
He say, in life you have two things. You have time and money. He say, those who have time have no money, and those who have money have no time.
Mo, tell everyone who Big Meech is.
So Big Meech is a legendary. He was a supplier of.
A supplier of what? Of what, Mo?
Of what was he supplying, Maurice?
he was. He was a supplier of
Goods.
drugs, of goods. Yes. He was a supplier of goods, and he ran an organization.
An organization.
He ran an organization called the Black Mafia Family, and all things aside from the illegal activity, and I mean this in the most serious way, to have that level of organization and sophistication, and to have that amount of money, you know the importance of time, because that statement, you can put that almost with anybody who runs a Fortune 500 company, anybody who runs any company. Those who have time have no money. Those who have money have no time, because when you have money and you have business going on, your time is leveraged and accounted for stuff that you're doing to try to grow the business and do what you're doing. So for new guys, so this is how it works, right? When you're on the outside looking in, everybody's always saying, if I can get next to John, I can make this happen. If I can get next to Corey, I can make this happen. If I could get next to Maurice, I can make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Those are people's thoughts, right? And then when they get next to these people, you waste their time. And to me, there is nothing more aggravating than me saying, I agree to come meet you, and I'll be like, damn.
I don't need no more free tacos.
Bro, I don't need nobody to buy my lunch, right? Straight up, you know.
We need to have a segment, I think, called Lessons from Big Meech and Larry Hoover.
Larry Hoover.
So I would probably have to
find that
research the
drop.
Larry Hoover ones. But we
Chicago guy.
Yeah, no,
Gangster
I'm talking about, but
Disciples.
I would
Okay.
have to research his whole, like, everything that he encompassed within Chicago, so we can.
He was
probably
also
derive.
a supplier of everything, and he sat at the top of the throne in Chicago, and he was very Meechish.
Yes, he was Meeches before Meeches, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll do that to the.
We
to
will
the
do
audience.
that.
Yes.
Much love, Larry.
Don't waste people's
Much
fucking
love,
time.
Larry.
Don't waste people's time. Man.
Nah.
Time for Q&A.
But life.
Hey,
Oh,
you're serious. You got the mic
oh.
on. You're ready to go.
It's real now.
It is real.
All right. Keep on sending us questions, everybody, at Biz and Biceps on Instagram and Twitter. We will send out a free T-shirt if we use your question on the air. All right,
It's
first
a nice
question.
T-shirt. It's a high-quality cotton.
It is.
It's very nice. With almost every job, even if you were a sales associate at a retail store requiring a degree, how can a person succeed in this society without a bachelor's degree if they don't want to start their own business?
You're
Oh,
a
if they
fucking
don't.
you're a dumbass, motherfucker. So here's the deal.
Jeez.
You're a dumbass. You're a sales associate anywhere that will give you commission.
Yeah.
Anywhere that will give you commission. Commission is like a fucking gauge that gauges how hard you work and how much you're willing to learn to sell something. I fucking made $4,000 a month when I was 17 years old at fucking CompUSA, okay? Selling goddamn computers. I was 17 years old. I didn't know a goddamn thing about computers, but I was like, oh shit, the more I sell, the more I make. I didn't need a fucking degree. I was out earning fucking people who had degrees at fucking 17 years old in high school, dude. A sales job, you're saying it yourself. A fucking sales job is based on commission. How can I do it without a degree? You already have the opportunity, but you're too stupid to see it in front of your fucking face. Why are people fucking stupid?
I don't. Yeah. So when I hear that question, to me, it's just like you're like
You're looking for a way out.
Yeah, you're just trying to basically
Make
look
an
for a way
excuse.
to make an excuse to be lazy.
God
because
damn.
like I knew when I chose not to have a degree, and this is like 20 years ago, that I was going to absolutely have to work, way more than anyone else to try to get the opportunities to pass up the people that had degrees. And then I realized very fast that what I was going to do didn't require a degree anyway. So it's just one of those things where you're just looking for an excuse and it just sounds lazy.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that in my segment about young people being bitches. I guess I say it now.
Yeah.
Just the younger generation, I mean, it's in the most respectful way. And I think that
You're a respectful bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being like cold-hearted serious. I think that we just have produced bitch-ass young people. And for you to just think this, for you to say you're assuming that just because somebody has a degree that they're doing better, they're making more sales than you. Like John said, it's a sales vehicle. Grind your ass off, put some points up on the board. You'll elevate and go to wherever you want to. Sell products, sell retail, whatever it is you have to do. Performance and skills mean more than anything in today's society. But we just got young people who are bitches, man. That's my.
I think also just putting the value on that somebody's better than you because of that.
Yeah, it's like, what are you saying about yourself? You're saying, I have no belief in myself that I can make something happen. So let me ask these guys if they can validate my excuse so I feel better about being a pussy.
So I wanted to say this too before we move forward, right? And so when I say bitch, I want to explain what I'm talking about. When I say bitch, it's just a soft person.
It's a female dog.
Just for the technical term, but when I call somebody a bitch, I'm like, this dude's soft, right? You're soft, right? The conditions, the circumstances, you looking for a way out, you're looking for an excuse. You don't want to man up, you don't want to woman up, you don't want to take the circumstances given to you and fight through them and grind through them, and you're looking for something to make you feel better.
Absolutely.
And so, to me, that is a bitch, and it's not.
Bitch.
So it's not like, you know what I'm saying. I hope they get
Basically,
that.
you got to just check yourself, man, for sure. Jeremy just basted you.
I think that was John.
Yeah, well, I mean, you served him up. I like it. Go ahead.
He wanted the question answered.
Yes.
Well,
He got his free T-shirt.
You got a fucking
sure.
free. You better enjoy that thing. Fucking make some sales in it. Next.
I've been working for a huge company my whole adult life. I started at 21 and I'm now 44. I'm not afraid of working and busting my ass since the day I've got here. I know what it takes to get the job done. My question is, how the hell do I get out and making a living where you are appreciated for the amount of time out of your life that you've given a company and not just be a number? I'm not scared of change, but I'm at a wall with my skills for this type of business. I feel like I'm too old to start from the ground up.
Man, so he's been there, what did he say, 20 years?
Yeah.
Here, my man.
21 to 44.
Yeah, so, okay, so 23 years, you've been at the same place, and you're saying, like, how do you get, like, man, that's a long period of time, and there's something that you're not grasping. It's very simple. Any system, if you are after it, there is absolutely no excuse why you cannot climb your way up to a elite executive level if you understand how the game is being played in that particular business. So I respect you for committing and working hard, but what I'm going to guess you're missing based on the context of your question is the game. And every company and every office has a different vibe, has a different good old boys club, has different politics that are present. But if you will notice, sir, or if you pay attention to this at work, you need to understand the dynamics of the politics in your office, because if you feel you're at a dead end and you're in a big company, dude, you're not playing the game. And for those who do not choose to be entrepreneurs, you are actually choosing to go into a corporate environment where you have to play the game if you want to succeed. So I just think you go and work hard, and I'm sure you have a great work ethic, but you miss the nuance of the corporate game.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is you've been there a long time, and now you expect to be valued more than you are. And to me, that sounds like very victimish. And to John's point, The victors are who take it by the reins and go and take those opportunities and create them, and not, for lack of a better term, like cry about it after 20 years. And I kind of feel bad saying this, but it's just the fucking truth. Right now you're waking up like you're being victimized, and you're the one that put yourself in that situation. No one else did.
You're working, you're not thinking.
You're working, you're not thinking. So at the end of the day, it all really, the sun sets and sails on what you do and what you miss or what you create. And I just think you got to take a different mentality. You got to take the victor and not the victim.
Yeah, first thing I thought of a guy like being miserable, right? And I always talk about attitude. And if that's your internal feelings towards the company, when you come into work every day, you're giving off that energy, and you feel like somebody owes you something, and you kind of got like a kid-like mentality where you feel entitled that just because you've been around a long time that somebody owes you some level of elevation. If you kind of listen to our content, people care about skills, not the duration that you've been there. They can say, hey, he's a trusted worker, he's committed, but does he have the skills that he thinks that he has to be in a position? Or have you gone to a person in a position of authority or a higher level and say, hey, what is it that I actually have to do to ascend or go to a different level? But I promise you this, man, when you can bring good energy to a place, when you can lead people, when you can encourage people, and when you look like the spark of a place, people want to be around that motherfucker.
Yep.
And you figure out how to elevate that person. Then on the backside of your question, you said you feel like you're too old. Well, you must like being a punching bag. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I had a chance to meet Warren Buffett, right? The man didn't make money till he was 48. You know what I'm saying? And now he's lived, 30, 40 years. He says a lot of people look at me now like I'm rich, but I didn't get rich until 48. I started, doing my thing at 48. 44 is still relatively young, my man. I don't know if you feel old just because you're in that environment for 21 years. You feel like life beats you up and you're about to die at fucking 50, but 44 is still fucking young. So perception is reality. If you perceive that, things are fucking, the sky's falling.
Your thoughts are manifesting into your life right now.
You know why he probably feels old? Because there's 27-year-olds in that office whooping his ass. That's why he feels old. That's what I'm
saying. It's no more victim. That's the truth. Next, last one.
Being in the military, I move around every 2 to 3 years, and sometimes I leave for 6 to 9 months at a time. I've always wanted to start a business, but I feel like I won't be around enough to get it off the ground and established. Am I making excuses, or should I wait until I can put majority of my efforts towards it?
You're right. You do move around too much. You are not making excuses. You're thinking objectively. And as someone who I'm going to assume has never started a business, let me just give you some very direct advice. Don't do it. Serve your duty to our country. And once you can get in a stable spot where you can have stable thoughts and you do not have to think about being deployed here or doing this task or that task, then you can embark on a business. Because you must understand, embarking on a new business is taking an idea, right, and figuring out all the little fucking pieces that are needed to make that idea a reality. And once you make it reality, best of luck making it profit. You have to figure out how to make it profit. And that is so fucking difficult. And if you have this duty to our country, which I highly respect, but if you have that, it's mental overload, and I do not think any human being has the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah, I think full go starting the business would be really difficult. I had a lot of military guys that have reached out to me over time that want to be in the training profession. I think that it could be cool to do some content online, training in these crazy places and doing all these things, and maybe capturing the process if it coincides with what you want to do, which could just start to get that when you do have time, but you're probably not trying to profit on it, but you're just kind of in the game a little bit to kind of feed that kind of area of your brain that wants this kind of action. But to John's point, the amount of time on a startup, it's like having a kid. Like it takes every piece of action that you got.
Triplets.
Yeah, exactly. So I would recommend, if you want to get in the game a little bit though, maybe you could, if that makes sense. That's what I've advised before.
Yeah, if he's a military guy, one, I would say just use a strategy right now. So I have probably 4 or 5 people who are active duty, and they talked to me about this actual thing. And one thing that they always talked about was that in the military, you don't make a ton of money, but you don't spend money, right?
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity as you're traveling to just store this money away because they pay for your food, they pay for
Sure.
everything, and you can start to store money away. And you need money when you're starting business, so you're not putting yourself into a situation. I would also talk to him about learning the advantages of the loans out there for
Tons.
military veterans. You know what I'm saying? They do have a bunch of business loans. They have loans for homes, all type of advantages.
Like, get that stuff
Amazing.
set up while
Yeah.
you got time.
Bro, you get these are the foundational pieces that he may be missing, but you know, you can store you 50G away, 100G away, 150G. I don't know how long he's been in the service, but you know, some clothes he may be buying or some just bullshit he's spending his money on, he can be stashing that away and building out, you know, a foundation for himself, so he's not scrambling for money when he finally ends up to his final destination. So that's my advice. Just save you some dough. You know, focus on the stuff with the military. You know, and even this is one thing from Charlie Munger. I'm like reaching into the Warren Buffett bag right now, right? Charlie Munger talked about the importance in business and culture. And as many times as you've traveled and moved from destination to destination, he says, I don't think people can fully maximize their opportunities in business if they don't understand the difference in culture, because business is driven a lot off of culture. And I just think that having that worldly experience, regardless of what you get into, and taking those experiences in and being able to connect with more people, sell more product, do more services, is of benefit to you.
Yeah, love
Would
it.
agree.
Main event.
Ring the bell, but ring it with your butt, actually.
So weird.
But he probably could.
I can't confirm or deny that,
I
John.
can't
If
either.
If you're
He's
watching,
behind a
if
desk.
you're watching Jeremy ringing with his
no,
butt,
no, listen.
that's on you, switch
listen,
hitter.
Listen. Hey, you're
You
thinking
did
about
say
it.
that. You did say
Hey,
that.
go put on your flats.
Yeah, I do. I was waiting
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that. All right. So, like I introed the show about the intricacies of the environment or workplace, just frame it up, John. We had some pretty good dialogue before we went on the air here. So,
Yeah.
you want to call people some bitches?
No,
I'm
no.
just fucking with you.
No, man. You know, if you're working for somebody, I really want you to just take your mind here. If you're the listener, like, do you ever feel like, man, my boss is always on me to get shit done. Like, my boss is always on me to get shit done. Like, she's so annoying. He's so annoying. Like,
Trying to get you to work.
like it's a human feeling, but then, like, I think we need to rewind back and say, why am I in this place? I'm in this place to get shit done. And if you think like that, if you just have that thought process, and I'm trying to kind of help you remove that thought process, it means you're probably doing a minimal amount of work because you're either surfing the net, texting your boyfriend or girlfriend, focusing on other stuff, and you're not working hard. Okay, so the way to get that thought out of your head, and the way to not have your boss on your ass, is to actually do your job, right? And when you're at work, because you're nothing but a crybaby pussy. Like you're nothing but a crybaby bitch if you say, my boss puts pressure on me to work all the time. And then if you ask yourself, where am I? You're at work. Like, you're at work. This is so simplistic, but I felt this the other day, yesterday, with Kyle. And I love Kyle and I respect Kyle, but Kyle is at work and he's asking us about storage on some stuff, and it should be a 1-minute conversation, and he's just wasting time. Absolutely wasting time. It's one, or it's the other, or it's the third. Tell us, okay? But when we spend a half hour and nothing gets done,
Yeah.
my fucking half hour, I know what my half hour's worth. And I know if you work for me or work for us, I don't need you wasting my time, because I got enough shit I got to do. And you better know your job. You better know your fucking job. And you better not watch fucking movies on your lunch break when you ain't getting shit done.
Yeah.
Period. Because you should be working. That's why you are here. You are not here to watch movies on lunch break and question the owners on what you feel should happen. No. You provide information as an expert in the field. Well, I think we need this kind of storage because I'm taking in this kind of video. And we say, okay, what does it cost? And we make a decision. It's all of 30 seconds. But when you say, oh, well, if we make that decision, I'm not coming. Shut up! Like, we made that decision based on information and we move forward. The more time we spend on bullshit, when we can cross-reference it with someone who fucking watches TV shows in the office, shit ain't going to come out too soft. It ain't going to come out too soft. Yeah. And there's a lot of growing up that needs to be done. So a lot of people fuck off when they're at work. And you're at work and you're getting paid a fee. You may not like the fee. You may think you're underpaid. Well, if you're underpaid, you ain't working hard enough, bro. Because guess what? You'd be able to get more somewhere else. So if you're underpaid, make a U-turn, look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? All this fucking victim, woe is me. Bitch, if you were worth it, you'd get paid. So come in like a motherfucking tank and wow people with what you can get done. And then talk to me about what you make. And then talk to me about how you get on with people. People will respect you and they'll start saying, motherfucker, what are you doing? How are you doing that? Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's just how it works. Stop with the pussy shit.
Yeah, I think one thing
that's why John wears sunglasses. You see that crazy back there?
Yeah, but I
it's
feel
real
it.
though. No, of course.
I feel it, and I'm feeling because there was something that we was talking about at the beginning of the show, and I think that people have a hard time mentally dealing with this. That I'm taking orders, right? And what they can't get past is that when you sent your resume in and you decorated it, or you sat down and we were interviewing and you were trying to just, leverage as to why you should hire me, it was like this golden script. But when you come in, you're coming into an environment with expectations and you're taking orders. And somewhere between that, they just lose the fact that my responsibility here is to come in to serve Max Effort Muscle. That is, I'm here to be a servant, not in a negative, let me beat you over the brow type of way, but I'm here to serve the company. And we lose that because I'm telling you, and I say it all the time, everything is tied back to social media these days. I tie it all back because it's me. It's me on Instagram, me on Twitter, me on Snapchat, and you get this authoritative place in your mind that is all about me, and I do what I want to. I set my rules. I set my boundaries. Everybody, I'm telling you, bro, everybody thinks it's all about them. Or I don't want to say everybody. Older people are not really in the social media range, and even from the workers at our place, our older people are typically better because they've missed that whole "it's all about me" gap. But with younger people, it's like, hey, I'm doing my thing within your thing.
Right.
I'm me being here,
Yeah.
and me. I can do your service and do my thing. And I just got to say it like this, right? So we have people, and we got 100 odd people, right? I see multiple people on the internet just doing their thing on Facebook during the day. And when I scroll through my timeline, I'd be like, yo, we got so much shit that needs to be done. And it's like, there's so many of these people are like, what are you doing? But they don't think it's a problem because they're like, yo, this only take 2 seconds. But you're hired here.
Yeah, but you're scrolling after that too. Come on.
Come on. But the fact that Facebook is on your mind and we don't have all this shit done lets me know that I'm doing your thing I'm doing my thing
within your thing.
And this isn't that bad, but they don't get.
Think about it like this, Mo. You could go in there, fucking watch TV on your laptop, go on Facebook, but you are stroking them checks every 2 weeks for their work. So they're deciding that they can go on their Facebook and fuck around on your time and on your fucking money. And they think that's okay. Well, you ain't even fucking around on your time and your money. No. Maybe that's why you're in the position you're in. Maybe that's why I'm in the position I'm in. But these fucking morons need to wake the fuck up and work. This isn't your personal shit. Needs to get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck if you want to watch a TV show. Don't do it in front of me. Don't do it here.
Let me throw this back on the listener who happens to do this, right? Because he got me in the mood right now, right? So just imagine you were sitting down interviewing for the position. Imagine you said to yourself, hey, while I'm working for you and doing the job, I'm gonna be on Facebook a little. Yeah. I'm gonna watch a little.
A little Hulu.
I'm gonna watch a little Hulu. And I'm gonna do that along with all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Just imagine the listener. How you think how would that play to the person? They probably wouldn't fucking hire you. You know what I'm saying?
They wouldn't hire you.
They wouldn't hire you. But when you come and you do those things, you're directly disrespecting and breaking the agreement. And literally, that is what drives people in our positions crazy. I'm telling you, it drives me crazy. But I get to the point I said, man, do I got to address 90 fucking people?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no, you just got to fire them.
I just think it's kind of interesting that people try so hard not to work. That if they would just, they're always trying to, in the big corporate environments, it seems like, and I'm sure you have this,
Fucking
Mo,
unreal.
they're trying to work these angles. Let me go to the water cooler a little extra. Let me hit the bathroom once an hour. And to me, it's like, if you just worked, like, you know what I'm saying? You're spending more time in the strategy not working.
This is what I found out. And I will bet everything I own, every dollar I have. And I don't know where people have picked this up. I don't know if they picked it up on the internet. I don't know if people look at I don't know where they found it at. I have found out that people would do everything to build a resume, everything to get hired. They would structure all of their intricacies on how to manipulate you, and then they get to work and figure out how to do just enough to keep you off their ass, but just enough not to get fired. And you say to yourself, like,
That's like the most fucking backward ass strategy ever.
bro. And they figure they're trying to get to the day. Okay, I got this 8-hour day. How can I fit this shit into 2 hours and then do my thing? I'm telling you, it's all with the intention of how do I do my thing on their dime? How do I do their thing on my time, on their time? And it's almost asinine because you'd be like, bro, if you were in my position, how would you feel?
Yeah.
That somebody just comes in and like, fuck it, how do I do my own thing? But I don't understand it, and maybe it's a reality check for listeners. And John's loading up over there, so I'll let him go.
No. They all want what you got. They all want the money. They all want the cars. They all want this shit, and they think that you aren't that much different from them. But what they
Yes.
don't see is me texting Jeremy at 7:59 and saying, "Is the podcast going on?" I don't need to do shit. But I'm watching the fucking second this bitch drops, the second a social media post goes out, the second a newsletter goes out. I'm proofreading all these other motherfuckers. 5 o'clock, I'm out. Fucking, and while they're here, they're fucking watching shit. They're doing other shit. The good ones aren't, right? The good ones aren't,
no.
right? Guys like Jeremy get it, and that's why they're fucking making a lot of money. But the other ones are just trying to get by, and they're wondering why John has this, and Corey has this, and Mo has this. It's because we could jerk off at work and throw it at your fucking face. Well, not really, but we could do things that are really fucking stupid, like watch TV and play video games, but we don't. And that's why we have what we have.
It's not the process.
That ain't the program, Mo.
Ain't the program.
No, it's not the program. The process is the process. And if you want to get elsewhere, if you're conditioning yourself to have those habits, the chances are 23 years later, you would be running on the same hamster wheel. And everybody's in at some level, and maybe this is your level of sacrifice. At some level, you have to sacrifice what you want to do and what you feel like doing for what needs to be done. And that is the mentality. Let me say it slower, so sometimes I talk real fast. Separating what I want to do from what needs to be done is the ultimate mentality that you need to separate before you go into anybody's workplace, right? I may not feel like doing what I got to do, but I'm going to do what I have to do. I may not feel like doing this task, but I'm going to do what I have to do in order to get to where I got to go, grind, and have a great attitude doing that. And that's what elevates you. I don't care what any environment that I go into, I can find out what somebody isn't doing, what needs to be done. I can hit that point, hit exploit whatever that is, and I can advance. And I feel like I could do this in any fucking environment because my mind is like very humble and is not like in this place where I feel like somebody owes me shit. I run shit. I'm trying to do my own thing. When I step into somebody else's environment, it's all about that environment, all about me playing my role. And
It's just another level of discipline.
I'm going to give people the ultimate example because I think this is such an important point, right? This personal need to engage. So Corey's the only person I told this. So unfortunately, I spoke too early a couple of weeks ago. My mom has cancer, and they just operated on her, and they cut out her lung. Nobody in this office, nobody knows. And my work has not changed. My fucking timing has not changed. My vigor to work has not changed. When I walk out this fucking door, I might change, okay? When I come here, nothing changes. And when I see fucking people doing their personal shit, and I know what I got to deal with, motherfucker, you guys do not get it. But the reason I can keep succeeding is because I understand there's a time and a place for everything, even if it's that fucking extreme and it hurts that fucking bad. This ain't the place for it. And I know that. And I can do whatever the fuck I want here, but I ain't bringing it here. It's just how it is.
I think we shut it down there.
You can't follow up after that shit.
No, hell no. Hey, Maurice, brought to you by Robinhood. Hit it up.
Yeah, Robinhood. If you want to tap into Robinhood and learn more about Robinhood and get into their program, to secure your future program, you need to go to biceps.robinhood.com. And you can get you a free share of Apple for the Sprint. I got to hit the owner up in a few and tell him to get me and John on the jet, so we can get a vacation. Download the Minty Green app, as my man John would say, and I'll give my regular advice as usual. Take you a nominal amount of money, a few $100. Look at some great American companies, some companies that you think will be around for a while, and start to learn. And I got alerts on my phone now, so I always get Robinhood's alerts, and there's a tremendous amount of information they can provide to you, but they're democratizing the American financial system.
No trading fees.
No trading fees.
Nice.
And I'll kick it to Corey.
Hey, so Halo Neuroscience. Now, you're probably thinking, this sounds like you have to be an elite athlete to use it.
No.
But you don't have to be. Everyday people can help, utilize their motor cortex of hyperlearning, John.
Absolutely.
Are you aware? John.
No, I am aware, dude. I've been using it, and straight up, it makes movements like my horrible golf swing. literally, like I can't chip. I've been practicing chipping, and I'm getting better at it. And it just, like I said, it doesn't feel like you take a magical pill. The movement just feels more familiar, and I think only a genius
Which
like
they
Dr.
are.
Chow,
Yes.
who produced this, could make something that could help athletic learning, any kind of physical learning, physical therapy learning. Guys, this is not for NFL players. This isn't for elite people. This is for everybody.
Well, and shout out to Dr. Chow. I mean, he
Yes,
helped with
yes.
another thing previous to this with epilepsy. I mean, this guy's been in it for so many years and is literally so smart. So go check out gethalosport.com/biceps, and they're going to give you guys $100 off on the Halo Sport.
That's money.
And lastly, we have a new sponsor, BRD. Listen, cryptocurrency is everywhere. You need a secure place to have your money at, John.
Yeah, I just think, real quick, guys, it's important to understand if you've never done it, when you buy cryptocurrency from an exchange, you don't just have it like you have a stocking account. You need to put it into what's called a crypto wallet. You must download a crypto wallet, and safety and security is so fucking crucial when you have a crypto wallet because, guys, let's face it, crypto is a text message on the blockchain, essentially, that is worth a large sum of money. So you better protect that shit online. And BRD is the safest, most highly rated crypto wallet, period. You can go to the App Store and you can download it. Cor, what's the exact instructions on that?
Go to brd.com or search BRD at the Apple or Google Play App Store.
Yeah.
You must need this crypto wallet.
Without
BRD.
a doubt.
You have
Without
to
a
have
doubt.
it. You have to have it. So John can't hack your crypto.
Man, I ain't a hacker. Come on, man.
There we go.
John,
Corey.
that was cool that you talked about that at the end of the show, man. I know it's been
ties
tough.
in.
I waited to ask you about it when we went out to lunch because
Ties
I
in.
know you don't bring it here.
I don't bring it here.
But I
It don't
think
belong here.
I think it's cool that you showed the vulnerability. So it's good, man. And Maurice, as always. Can the podcast be stopped? Maurice Claret, John Fosco? The
podcast can't be stopped!